Unless Discord. There we go. All right. Oh, weird. It loaded up just fine.
Oh man, it's weird. My settings in OBS completely reset, so
Oh, weird.
that's fine. We got it now. It worked. It got there.
Okay. Have you already started recording?
Yeah.
Okay, because as much as I enjoy talking to you guys and the foreplay that gives us, we got to get straight to the fucking. Because we joke a lot about how I'm always so tired, but today, oh my gosh, you guys, some reason today it's the Lord's literal truth. So I'm gonna hang in as long as I can because I know I talk an awful lot, but I'm gonna rely on you two lads.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the first bit of this is I'm going to have a dare in which I'm going to challenge one of you to open up the document and read the summary that I pasted in there before I
At the
before I
bottom
started
here.
trying.
Okay.
Yeah, it's at the very bottom. I didn't want to mess up the formatting. I'm not a jerk, so I just put it at the very, very bottom, along with 2 talking points that I had, because that's how I'm going to let you all in. Hi, all listeners. This is Outwit, Outplay, Outcast. It's whatever podcast on the Night of Living Geeks Network. I am your host, Nick. That last person to have spoken was Andy, and then the one who said, "Oh God," is Brian, because he's a pious young lad.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about season 45, episode 7, which was called, don't tell me, I know this one. It was something that Bruce said right off the bat. It sounded like malapropism, but it was correct. Oh, no, it was you're following a horse to water.
Following a dead horse to water.
Dead horse, doggone it.
And it's episode 8.
Yeah. It's episode 8?
Yeah, we're on 8 already.
Yeah, cool. I thought it was very good. Like, okay, when I saw that, I thought it was going to be like Katura's malapropism about the sore thumb in my side or something like that, whatever it was. But no, he was adapting Bruce was adapting a very reasonable statement into a much more reasonable statement. So I like that. So one of you read my prose.
Brian. It's going to be Brian. I want to hear Brian.
Oh, I guess I should open the document.
I feel like it should be Brian, because also he's going to have the most what the fuck aspect to all of these.
I don't know if you know this, but Brian and I went to college together for English, which involved some poetry reading. And Brian's poetry readings were always, you wouldn't expect this, so moving and beautiful. So I cannot wait to hear his reading of this summary.
Okay, keep in mind first, because I got a real question. But first, keep in mind I'm a gullible son of a bitch. Is that true? And I'm only going to ask Brian if that's true, because I know Andy's going to lie.
Well, I mean, we both got English degrees at the same time, but he was not in my poetry class.
Weren't we? No, we were in a creative writing class together.
Yeah, we're in the creative writing class.
Yeah, but you got to do poetry for creative writing.
What? No, we didn't.
Really? I don't know. Oh, whatever.
I didn't know. That's really neat. Thank you for enlightening me, because I didn't meet either of you until I was like 33 or something. So yeah.
It's all right. Brian can send you some of his poetry later. We'll put it on the website.
Yeah. All right. Read for me. It's the only way I can finish.
Post-merge damage control begins with Jake being the realest dude and talking to Julie, who does not forgive him, but he doesn't take it personally. 8 years ago, Shirin broke the auction. Now it's back with some twists. To start, there's an Easter egg hunt for your money. Each egg is a different amount, leading to Bruce being broke as hell because he was lazy as hell, and me getting $900. With a number of other changes, Nick fully believes someone's entire job for the past 8 years has been solving the auction. Sounds about right. Emily starts a new internet kink by paying $440 for charcuterie porn. Katura gets screwed and licks an eye that Austin then pays $100 to eat. And why was it super crunchy? It was a fish eye. That was weird. $200 for a PB&J and margarita is easily the steal of the game, and Bruce winds up losing his vote because he had the most money left, and Emily gets a bonus $60. And also, why the hell, if you're gonna, don't bet the most amount of money when you have the most, bet as much as the next lowest person. Like, why would you waste? Anyway,
We'll get into
Kendra
that.
montage coming back from the break. Will she go home? Let's find out. Emily spills the beans about a woman's alliance to Drew. Drew throws Bruce under the bus, but there's a holding things challenge, so he is 100% safe. Dee and Emily sit, and then Jeff goes Mafia Mama on the bag of rice, motivating Drew and Katura to sit as well. Bruce wins. Everyone is sad or mad, or both. With Bruce safe and Jake aware of his predicament, Kelly despairs that she'll be shrapnel because everyone sees Bruce as her it follows. What the hell does that mean?
It's a movie where there's a demon coming after you at all times.
It's a pop culture reference, Brian. Don't worry.
I know what I've heard of the movie, but the way the sentence was weird. Anyway,
I was originally going to say he is the Babadook, but then I looked up the Babadook and I realized that's not an apt comparison at all. Sorry, go on.
Fair enough. Drew rallies to get people to vote for Kelly because he's a Megamind super genius and then immediately gives up at the first sign of difficulty. Jake knows he's the target and makes a compelling case, including an obvious but well-delivered verbal bluff. He plays his shot in the dark, but whiffs. Turns out it wasn't necessary. Emily blew things up and orchestrated a straight vote against Kelly.
Yeah, good job. I gotta say, I like, first of all, that you inserted your own commentary, and it's immediately obvious to the listener what parts are your parts. I like that a lot. That was great. I would clap, but if I did, my tablet would fall on my face.
I do want to clear something up. You asked about the sound for the fish eyes. Jeff did confirm that's the real audio from him eating the fish eye. They isolated it and turned the volume up so you could hear it, obviously, but those are the real sounds from that fish eye.
Okay.
But I'm like, I didn't think it was fake. I'm like, but why is a fish eye crunchy? That's just
I'm
weird.
curious about that too. Was it maybe? Did he say if it was cooked or not? And so I mean, it couldn't have been served absolutely raw. Like it had to have been like ceviche or something.
No, I think it was absolutely raw.
Maybe it was frozen.
Maybe, yeah. I just feel there has to have been something done to it. Like I said, maybe it was ceviche where it's chemically cooked, but I don't feel that it's safe to just give someone a raw eyeball to eat. But that said, I'm sure that is a delicacy somewhere, but to me that is just gross as hell.
I mean, people eat raw fish all the time.
I think
but I think that's gross as hell too.
I do as well. Well, we've covered this before. I don't like seafood very much. I don't like fish, so
yeah. And it's something that comes up all the time, right? Like it's disgusting and weird to us, but to them it's a delicacy and it's just totally normal. So, one person's Sunday night dinner is another person's disgusting.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I take it with not cultural relativity, but cultural ambivalence. It's like, I could see why you would do that. I don't think I would. But Brian, I do. So I hear what you were saying about don't bid the most amount that you have, bid what the next highest person has. But the thing is, okay, the first 5, do that. Those are the ones that are guaranteed.
Right.
But later on, when it could end right then and there, like if you bid the second most money and then they are like, all right, cool, you get it. Then you would get it and the other person would have their vote. But if they
I mean, I think Emily played it right. She did the math so that she would have exactly 1 bill less than Bruce. Yeah. So that if it went to the exact number of spots to be Bruce, then it would be Bruce. If it went to 11, she was screwed. But otherwise, she was safe. And if it went to 12, she got a bonus item just for whatever she had left. So she rolled the dice and she was like, if it lands exactly on 11, if that one is exactly 11, then she's screwed. Otherwise, beautifully smart play.
Yeah. All right. I take it back even as I was saying it because Brian, I was actually starting to see some of some of what you were saying because. Yeah, if the other person can't beat you, then you're tied. And did they say what would happen if there was a tie?
No, he didn't say.
If you bid first, your bid is going to be, if you can't bid the same thing somebody else already bid.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm being dumb. I'm thinking you have like literally double their money. If you have $600 and the next highest person has, say, over 300, you would bid. Let's say they have 320. You bid your 320. Now you've got 280, and they've got 300. And yep, I see what you're saying now. You're correct.
Yeah, you want to come in
especially
just under.
D, because D was in the first 5, and she bet all. She had the most money.
Yeah.
And she bet all of it. Like, why wouldn't you bet 700,
Yeah.
which was the next highest, and then have
She
some
could have.
later maybe?
You're right. She could have gotten 2 things: $900 for one chocolate milkshake. I mean, a great chocolate milkshake. Looks perfect. Looked wonderful. But yeah, she could have gotten it for half the price, and then maybe have gotten something later on. Interesting. Who had money above Bruce? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know. Okay, Kelly got hurt. Was it Kelly and then Bruce?
Oh, you mean like who had the second highest? Ooh, I think it was Kelly.
Okay, because then in that instance, what would have happened is Kelly would have lost her vote. Yeah, that's how it would have played out, which, man, that would have sucked even more for her. She would have been even more out. So for the sake of drama, I'm glad that Dee did it the way she did. Because otherwise this would have been a very rote... you know what? Give credit to the editors. I think they would have milked some tension out of it, even though Kelly going home would have been the obvious choice. As it stands, I think that it worked out very well. Normally, I don't like this kind of blindside where they don't show you the blindside happening. If you remember, several years ago, there was an early episode of a season where it basically looked like it was going to be player A or player B. And then just out of nowhere, it was player C, and they're like, #blindside. And it's like, what the fuck? And you may not remember who it was, and I don't remember who it was or what season it was. But you guys, do you remember the feeling at least where you're just like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, I remember that. I don't remember exactly which out or season it was, but I do recall.
Yeah.
It was like out of left field.
Yeah, it was like, it felt stupid and cheaty. This, though, I thought worked really well because we saw all the pieces of it fall into place, but the way that the tribal council was put together, it really looked like Jake was going to go home. You know what I mean? And when I dropped my tablet. What's going to happen when I get tired?
There you go.
When the votes started coming in, Kelly, it was a surprise, but because Emily had warned Drew and presumably Austin, maybe Drew was the one to warn Austin, but because Emily had warned them about the Women's Alliance, and because enough people were willing to say, all right, let's go for it. Like, it's a little bit of a surprise to see why Julie was going for her. I'd be interested to hear that, and why Dee was going for her. But otherwise, yeah, you knew she was on the block, and so the surprise of the episode wasn't that she went, but the way that she went. And yeah, it was surprising. I didn't enjoy it because she was one of my favorite players, but yeah, I thought it was a very good rendition. That's not the word, but I can't be buggered to think of the right word.
Well, they've also been leaving breadcrumbs too, right, for Kelly. Like, this isn't the first episode where she's mentioned that Bruce is bringing her game down or blocking her from making certain plays. Like, she mentioned it last episode, and I think the episode before that too. Where people didn't want to come to her because they saw her as being allied with Bruce because Bruce keeps saying that she's his number one. And I am so annoyed that Bruce has brought her down. Like, she could have played longer if it weren't for him. But like, at the same time, I think it happened. I think it happened because Bruce, at this point, as much as I hate to say it, is not a threat to win, but is becoming a legitimate problem. In that for sure he has an idol. I'm pretty sure most people know at this point. And he's just won this immunity. Like, yeah, he lost his vote, but he's got the immunity this week. Next week he might have an idol. Like, you need to weaken him so that the idol is not as useful. And you do that by taking out his number one. Like, it sucks, but that's what you do. And she's the collateral damage. I kind of would have expected it to be Jay Cocaine, but I think you're right that the talk of the Girls Alliance tipped it away from Jake towards Kelly. Like, okay, it's not just the Women's Alliance thing. It's not just the Bruce thing. But when those two converged right before this tribal, that made it Kelly instead of Jake.
Yeah. Like Oscar and Hammerstein said, how do you solve a problem like Bruce?
Okay.
What, you don't like American musical theater?
I'm not as familiar with it. But speaking of the Girls Alliance,
West Side Story.
This episode had some great moments, and one of the best moments was when the girls were all in the hut talking about the Girls Alliance. And they were like, the guys are down there by the ocean. They're probably talking about us girls. And it cuts to the guys. They're just fucking talking about how much they love tacos. That was a wonderful moment.
That was great. It just goes to show that, let's say, like, even with a person you know intimately well, if you tried to guess what was on their mind, at best, you're going to get it 1 in 3.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just, It was wonderful. The guys might have been talking strategy at the same time and then changed to tacos. Like, but this told a really good, fun story.
Yeah.
And
sad that there weren't any tacos in the auction.
Yeah. And like the tacos thing is funny, but like legitimately sitting around talking about tacos and how much you really love this food together. It's a bonding sesh for those 4 dudes. So when one of them hits the jury, the other ones are going to remember the taco talk. It's just as legitimate as any other time you spend in the game.
That's because men can taco about their feelings.
Do you want to talk about rice? Which was my other favorite moment of the episode.
I want to talk about what the rest of the items were. You know? If they
in
had
the
done all
auction?
15, what would they have been? They don't have to show them, but they could have shown us, you know?
Yeah,
I really do want to know what number 16 would have been. Because you got to think of it this way. If they really pulled 16 out of that bag, and I got to admit, that was a brilliant way of doing it. I have some auction thoughts about the way that it was done. But if 16 had been pulled, then it would have to be something truly amazing to be like to finish it. It couldn't be just Abir. It has to be something amazing.
I mean, the other thing is, would they have made it to 16? Because I feel like at this point, if I'm Bruce, I want to get rid of my money ASAP.
Yeah,
like you're sitting on a time bomb, and then Emily wants. I mean, I don't think it would have gotten past 12.
No, it probably wouldn't have. But that's the thing. It's like that they had to have had a plan in place, like because you got to think of it from an editing standpoint. This has to end in a dramatic way, even if it does go all the way to 16. Like, what was it? 11, I think was the answer. So 12 would have been. Sorry, well, I forget. Were there 10 items or 11 items?
I think it was 10.
It was 10.
It was 10. So if it was 11 and then Bruce spends his money, then you've got Emily going out and you can have the drama there. But if it was 12 and Emily spent her money, and then it's like, okay, well, nobody has the most money, so what do we do? Like, I mean, like, there has to have been something. So you had to have made those later items something really amazing. So, yeah. General thoughts about the auction before I get into my specific pick to knit?
I really love the 40 canisters of bamboo. Not just because we got a great like montage of them like running around the jungle finding stuff, but I like that the auction was always something that was just a reward for the sake of shoving a reward into a season, which I think is why they didn't feel like it belonged in the new era, so to speak. Like here, it's like everything is earned kind of a sentiment, right? And the old auction was just like, show up, here's random shit, and you just get money, $500, and have fun, right? So I like that by putting the tubes out there, they made it almost like a reward challenge, right? Like there's a penalty for not doing well, and there's rewards for getting your hustle on, and I really like that.
Yeah.
It sounds like I like that it wasn't fair.
Exactly.
That was a great way of doing it, because you got to figure, all right, there's 10 players, there's 40 bags of money. So naturally, everyone's going to think, all right, if I get 4, I'm in a good position. But if you get 4, maybe you've got $80 like Bruce. I mean, how many did D get? D looked like she had maybe 5.
Yeah, she had quite a pile.
That she had quite a pile, but like, let's say, they were pretty big. So even if you had 4, it looked like you had a huge pile. So let's say she had 6. Each one of those still had, on average, over $100 in them. Had, oh god, math is hard. $130, let's say, something like that. Yeah, and then some other players had even, well, they didn't have more than D, but you know what I mean. Yeah, it was a really interesting way of doing it. I like that part a lot. My one specific nit is that, yeah, like Kendra said, I solved it right off the bat. I just needed to get, I don't care what I bought. I just needed to get rid of all my money right away so that I would not lose my vote. And so what I think they need to do next time is have at least one. So they did 5 guaranteed items. Mm-hmm. What they need to do is have maybe one less. So there were 10 players, maybe 9 guaranteed items, and then, which would mean 8, and then they draw out of the thing. So yeah, have 8 and then you draw a thing or whatever, and that way there is an incentive to hold on to some money because maybe there's something good towards the end, but you will still be punished if you spend nothing.
Yeah, I mean that is the only tricky thing, is you're immediately incentivized to just spend everything, which is why Dee buys that chocolate milkshake for $900. Like, yeah. She did it sight unseen, right? She didn't even know what was under there.
Right.
It's just
didn't have. Sorry, I was going to say, she didn't have much of a choice because she had so much more than everyone else. She didn't necessarily have enough to buy 2 items, but she had so much more than everyone else that it's like, I just need to vent all of this plasma before I go up in flames.
Yep.
No, it wasn't blind. She knew what it was when she bought it.
Oh, you're right. It was Katura who... did she buy the only blind item?
I think the cake... No, the cake wasn't a blind item.
The cake was blind, yeah, because...
No, Julie's mouth stuff, the dental hygiene kit was a blind item.
Yeah.
I know that one was.
I liked the cake, and I thought Jake made good decisions because he, like I said, as I wrote in the thing that Brian so eloquently read, he tried to make up with Julie. They had their conversation. He said, "Look, I was taking a shot and it didn't work out, and now I think I'm fucked." And she said, "But hey, it's just a game." And she said, "Yeah, it's just a game until your name comes up." And then what did he say? He was just like, "Yeah, it really is." And then he starts laughing like it's going to happen soon. And he knew what was coming. So he's like, "All right, look, I'm going to make up to Julie for screwing her over that one time." And then he picked Bruce just because. Oh, because he picked Bruce because he likes Bruce. Okay, that's right. That's fair. But no, I think he did that a decent job.
Yeah, he did all right.
Yeah.
I mean, it was good that he got the one that he got to split. That worked out all right for him.
Yeah, good for him.
Austin buys, I think, the most disgusting pizza I've seen in a long time.
Oh, I would have murdered that pizza. I love pizza.
I know when you're out there, it doesn't matter, and a pizza's a pizza. And if that's what you're looking for, then that's great. But man, having had really good pizza tonight, that pizza was disgusting. It looked nasty.
I'll say, when I was on the East Coast in Baltimore, I had it's called Lito's Pizza, and it's just like, it's an East Coast thing, and it's basically just kind of like, hey, congratulations on winning your soccer game. Let's all go get a pizza kind of pizza.
Oh, okay.
The thing about Lito's is that it's a square, or it's a rectangle, like old Little Caesars. But every little square of that rectangle that they cut it into has exactly one piece of pepperoni. And that pepperoni is curled just because from the heat of the oven. And it's curled in such a way that all of the grease just settles in the middle of that cup.
Yeah.
And it's like, it is, objectively looking at it, it is disgusting. But when you bite into it, I swear to God, it tastes so fucking good.
Yeah, the juicy pepperoni.
Yeah. What pizza did you get? Because you Your wife is vegetarian, so what kind of pizzas you get?
Oh, she ordered a thin crust pesto and goat cheese pizza, which is pretty good. But we have a pizza place here that has really, really good Detroit style pizza, which I love the shit out of. So when we go, we order 3 pizzas, one for me, one for her, and one for the kids, which is excessive. But we get lots of pizza for the week that way.
Yeah. What was yours then?
Oh, I didn't order today. I had lunch. I had pizza for lunch, so I was like, I'm not gonna double dip. It's fine.
Also, honestly, that pesto one sounds really good. I'm not personally. I'm just not a fan of feta, or whatever cheese it was that you said.
Goat cheese. Goat cheese.
Okay, goat cheese. Feta is a goat cheese. I told y'all I am sleepy.
That's all right.
But pesto on a pizza is really good. Brian, what's your pizza?
One that doesn't have fish on it. That's pretty much my requirement.
Is there an Arizona pizza chain? I know you got a Hungry Howie's.
Oh, well, I mean, there's a bunch of crappy pizza here.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys don't know how to do it.
You have no idea how much I miss Round Table.
Yeah. Okay, here's my thing about Round Table. If you put a Round Table pizza in front of me, I will eat it and I will enjoy it very much. But if you say, here's $1,000, go buy a pizza, I'm going to buy a Little Caesars. I love Little Caesars so much more than Round Table. Round Table is overpriced for what it is.
It's the most insane thing I've ever
heard. I mean, you said something wrong and then something. It is very overpriced for what it is. But
yeah,
I don't know about Little Caesars over it.
No. Try.
I feel like of all the chains, they're the one that does it right. But I think 9 times out of 10, there's probably a better local pizza option.
No. Oh yeah, well, local pizza is different. But also, especially because Andy and we live in the Bay Area. Andy's on the outskirts, but like it's an expensive area. And there isn't a lot of food of the people. Like if you go to a non-chain pizza place, you're usually getting like a pot cheese, which is like a gourmet pizza experience, and it's like pizza is peasant food. I've mentioned this before. I've talked about this, about how I feel that a good cheeseburger is just like bun, meat, cheese, lettuce, tomato, onion. I don't like pickles. If you want to put pickles on you, go for it. But otherwise, Dianu. So I'm not pretentious. I enjoy highbrow food, but I'm not pretentious. I will eat just a pizza with regular old pepperoni on it. I don't need all the fancy ingredients. But for me, I love a Little Caesars. You get their thin crust. Their thin crust is really, really good. Also, if you get their, they got a pretzel crust. I don't know if they're doing it right now. It's a seasonal thing. Their pretzel crust is amazing. And if you get it with, you got to be careful when you order it, because if you get it with the cheese sauce, it's frankly just too much cheese. It's cheese sauce with cheese on top of it and pepperoni. That's too much. But if you get it where it's just a regular ass pizza with red sauce and the pretzel crust, oh god, that's heaven. And like $8.
Yeah, the $8 is the best part.
What do you mean too much cheese? I don't understand this weird language you're speaking.
Honestly, until I had it on accident with the cheese sauce, I ordered it with red and they put cheese. I thought, let's give it a try anyway. Until I had it with the cheese, I would have been right there with you, hand-holding club. I would have said, there's no such thing as too much cheese. But it really was just too much. It's a little too samey.
But I get the extra most bestest from them, and it's, extra cheese, extra pepperoni, and I love it.
Yeah, hey, that's great. I'm not going to judge you or anything, but for me, just like the regular one. The extra most best, I get a little queasy off it. I think it's a little too much. But anyway.
So the thing about the auction that kind of bothered me is, as soon as the last item is over, just like, all right, time to leave. And it's like Emily's charcuterie board was like at least still half there. Kelly got time to drink her margarita, and like that's it. Even though there was a sandwich and chips there too, it's like that really sucks. I feel like they should be like, all right, auction's over. You all got 5 minutes Even if you're just like, y'all have 30 seconds to stuff your face, you gotta have empty hands, but whatever's in your mouth you can walk away with. Like, that would have been fun to watch. People just like shove stuff in and bye, Jeff, you know? That would have been entertaining.
Like, still one of my best Survivor memories is from the season that had Shane and Suri and a couple of the other ones. And it was the first time that they did the thing where, like, all right, we're going to do a holding stuff challenge. But if you want, instead of holding stuff, you can forfeit and you can eat. And you can eat as long as people are in the challenge.
Yeah.
And, like, just shy of the last person giving up, Shane stuffed, like, an entire hamburger in his mouth. And he's got, like, big, fat cheeks. And, like, the real challenge was how much food can people eat. That was great.
Yeah.
I mean, two things. First, I mean, it's not like he said, go away and don't take any food with you. And secondly, I mean, he warned him. It's just going to suddenly end.
Yeah,
I guess that's true.
So he did say, I remember him specifically saying that you got to leave and you can't take it with you, but I will agree with you, because I think that they gave them a little bit of time to eat. You know what I mean? Like probably, and then they just edited it as if they didn't. Because I mean, if you look at it, what there really was behind, like, Emily had a little bit of charcuterie left. Austin left most of his eye untouched. And you know what? I will give Austin credit. He paid $100 for the eye, and it was kind of just like, you know what? I'll pay it. Maybe I'll like it. And he ate a little bit of it. He's like, yeah, I didn't like it. And then he kind of just left it untouched. So I'll give him credit for that. Like, why not? Let's be adventurous.
You know, the Emily thing is mostly me just being disappointed in Emily, because hers was the third auction. She had plenty of time to eat. The Kelly one's what gets me. But speaking of Kelly, you know, her margarita came with a sandwich. And the narrative here with Austin is that anybody who eats a sandwich other than him has to be voted out. Which, by the way, now his amulet is full power, so it's another idol. So he now has two full power idols, and he has gotten revenge upon that original sandwich, and now this one as well.
Yeah, he had every incentive to go for her because of the thing. I had completely forgot about that detail.
Yeah, they did not mention it this episode, which I thought was pretty interesting. Because I'm sure that factored into Austin and Drew's calculation of who they wanted to take out when they made their push.
Yeah. Oh, shit, I still have Bruce? I thought for sure I dropped him.
Nope, you got him. I'm glad you didn't drop him, because then I'd have him.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't. Speaking of Bruce, I really don't feel sorry for him in the auction, because, first of all, he made no attempt to actually go get any of the money.
Yeah.
And, you know, and he ended up losing his vote. But I'm like... And then also, fucking Jake fucking brought him up there to share that goddamn cake. And he fucking, like, took, like, two tiny little specks. Like, you fucking ass. Fucking don't get up there if you're not even going to fucking eat it. Let somebody else eat it, you dick.
I mean, I don't know.
That was a dick move.
No, we don't know what his constitution is with something like that and how much milk was in that cake, you know? You don't know the composition of it when you get up there.
Okay, so like, then don't fucking say anything when he asks who's hungry, and he goes, always, you know, so then he picked him.
Yeah.
I mean, shut up. I mean, then. It's a lot of sugar. It's still a lot of calories compared to what they've been getting normally. Like, definitely still go up there and get the calories when they're like, you know, don't look the gift horse in the mouth. Go up there, get the calories you can, but, like, also do the calculation that if you overeat and vomit it all up later, then you're negative net calories. Like, don't do that either. So, he could have gone harder than he did, but I'm not going to guilt him for not shoveling it in his face like Jake did.
Oh, yeah. But he at least could have looked like he had, like, a piece of cake. He fucking ate, like, 3 crumbs. Yeah. It was really a dick move.
I'm voting with Brian on this one, Andy, because, like, I get what you're saying. Hey, get the calories you can, but come the fuck on. If you volunteer the way that he did, you know, saying like, I'm always hungry, somebody would have done a little bit more justice to that cake. Don't let it go to waste. Yeah.
I mean, in your guys' favor, he also didn't, like, at the end when Jeff's, like, counting on the time, like, grab that giant handful, and then you can go back and eat that as slow as you want to on the bench.
Yeah.
Right? Like, but that moment didn't happen.
I feel like Drew got the booby prize, and he understood. He knew he got the booby prize. He's like, "This is I'm gonna shit this right out." He basically says, and I like that he tried to make a case like, "Hey, what if I make an offer?" And then Jeff just countered with, "Fuck you."
Yeah, and we see later what the negotiation might have been like if he pushed the matter.
Oh yeah. Let's get to that because that was beautiful.
That's my favorite Jeff moment I think ever.
I honestly feel that Jeff with the knife, Shaka when the walls fell, Jeff with the knife. This is something he thought of 6 years ago, and he's like, I've just been waiting for it. Because that what he relished in that.
Oh,
he was probably thinking of that back when he was on Personal FX in the FX loft in New York City.
Yeah, no, it was fucking wonderful. I like that they step up and they're starting to talk because everybody knows the rice negotiation's coming, right? It's something they've done every season. So I'm sure they're all like, oh, well, what if we only do one more, blah, 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 and they're going to try and negotiate in some fair way. And he's like, no, this is the negotiation. Stab.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll make it easier on you. And here's the thing. So, okay, Drew made the right choice, sitting out immediately, right? He made the right choice. That said, I think he is not nearly as good a player as he is because you saw that panic in his eyes, right? Like, if he was the cool, calculated player that he thinks he is, he would have, like, exhorted someone else to go in place, and then he would have been the fourth one or something. But he just panicked, and he said, someone come with us. Someone come with us.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, Couture's the one who was, like, initiating the negotiation, basically. But she was the last one to step forward. And I feel like if you're Drew and you have some composure in the moment, you go, all right, Couture, let's do it. And you step up, and then the pressure is 100% on her. But I mean, that immediately alienates somebody if they were not going to do it. Like, if you're like, all right, come on, Bruce, let's go. Well, shit, fuck you, Drew.
I got excited because at first, so I'll no joke, when they all got out there, I saw the shape of the challenge. And I started writing in my notes, it is not a holding things. I thought it was a balance challenge. So I wrote, it's a balance challenge, so Bruce is already eliminated. But yeah, no, it was a holding things, and he managed to hold the thing very well.
Yeah, Bruce has strong enough arms. He can do that. I mean, he's not a challenge slouch. That's for sure.
Yeah. He can compete.
So, I don't know about the not letting people bend their arms, because Jeff was like, we don't want to make it. No, nothing to make it more comfortable. I'm like, that would hurt your elbow like hell if you were allowed to bend your arm. That wouldn't be more comfortable.
Oh, well, no, it lets you engage different muscles, right? Lets you stretch your arm a little bit and move, and it basically gives you some wiggle room. Like, holding it bent, not that you would hold it bent, but to bend your arm and then bend it back, just that little bit of movement would be a relief, probably.
Fine.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm not an anatomist. I mean, I got to give you basically, I give Jeff the benefit of the doubt. I feel like if bending your arm was well, I shouldn't say I give Jeff the benefit of the doubt. I give production the benefit of the doubt. If bending your arm was a disadvantage, I feel like production would have said you can't, or you can go ahead and do it. You know what I mean? So if Jeff was saying nope, then there must have been some advantage to doing it, maybe. I thought it was pretty funny how he constantly kept writing Jake over it, like saying, like, arm straight, Jake, good job.
Yeah.
And it's definitely raised by a Catholic mother. He knows how to guilt someone.
Yeah. And then Bruce follows up at Tribal. This is why, like, it's these little things that make me annoyed with Bruce. And I don't know if it's him or the way he's playing or whatever, but, like, he gets in to Tribal and he, like, and it might not have actually happened this way. It might be the edit, but it feels like they sit down and he immediately wants to know how special he is. Like, how many other players have been in the same spot I am?
Yeah.
Like,
that was so douchey.
And it's like, by contrast, right, Caleb does his shot in the dark, and they get back to the beach, and everybody else is doing the math, and other people say, I think that's a record. Wow, that's probably a record, man. Congratulations. Yeah. Caleb doesn't come back and immediately go, oh, yeah, is that a record? I think it, like, doesn't put the focus on himself. Let other people do it. And, if Tribal is 2 hours, I'm sure somebody else would have brought it up for you, Bruce.
Yep.
It would have come up organically, but instead you wanted to highlight it, how special you were yourself.
Yeah. My thing about Bruce is, if I felt like this was all some pre-calculated David Xanatos level play, right, where he's like, I'm going to come in all cocky because I know I'm safe, and ask, like, did I just break history? And, the way he casually throws out, like he had said a couple of times, oh yeah, Kelly's my number one, as a way of getting people to target her. If I thought he really was just like this chess master, I would be like, damn, this guy is playing a great game. But I really feel like he's just making a lot. If he's any kind of master, he's a drunken master, just making moves, and they just happen to work. Yeah.
Which, by contrast, I feel like so often Tribal Council just feels like a formality in the episode, and it probably was here too. But I really appreciated the strength of Jake's performance. Not just his, like, fake stumble on my idol, an idol, right? Like, we've seen that before. But he does the work to set that up. I don't think his inability to find his words at the start was probably genuine, and then I think he leaned into it. And then I think the way he articulated his point really well afterwards and stumbled over the idol thing. If you articulate clearly and then you stumble, the stumble looks way more obvious. But he stumbled, articulated, stumbled, and I'm pretty sure that was planned. That was part of his performance. And I think he has that gear to lie in that way, that totally sell the lie. And, like, I think that makes his performance here probably not relevant, maybe relevant. I don't know how many would have switched their vote in the moment based on that performance, but, like, that's really good. And that's another thing where, like, if you go to the jury and you remember he could do that, and if he does that again in a way that probably benefits him, like, it seems like a small thing, but the way he performed in Tribal is a genuine move. And in front of the jury, which is just one person right now. But, like, Caleb can hear things and Caleb can see what's happening at Tribal. And that's it. So, like, you do your performance in Tribal.
Yeah. I concur. I concur that the my idol and idol was definitely a bluff, and it was masterfully done, but or like delivered. But I actually think that he thought he was going home. I don't think he changed anyone's vote. I think Kelly really was the target. Once they realized, Jake, whatever, it's too risky to vote him out because Bruce might play his idol or something, or he may have an idol. So I really think that they decided to take out Kelly, and he just was on the outside. My thing about Jake, I feel that he is playing a very good game. However, he's taken 2 shots right now, and they have both missed. Yeah. So I don't think he's going to win. Even if he gets to the end, I don't think he's going to win. I like him. I want to see him a lot on my TV because this man, he and Kelly were my 2 favorites. I really like just the way that they talk to other people, the way they're face acting. I like all that. So it's painful to see one go. And even the fact that he considered her an ally because he said, I lost my number one or something along those lines in the preview for the next episode. Yeah. I just realized he might have been talking about Bruce there, and he may be talking about, like, oh, Bruce went against me or something. But no, he couldn't have because Bruce didn't get to vote. All right, retracted. I don't know what I'm talking about.
It's fine. It's late. You're tired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I think he was going anyway, and I don't think he necessarily changed anybody's mind in the moment. But I think that was his play to save himself. He felt like.
Yeah.
And I think it was really well done. Even if it wasn't relevant, it was really well done. But my favorite moment was when the votes were getting read, and he goes, "Oh, people are playing Survivor."
Yeah.
And then when it's Kelly, the sticker too, when it actually says, "Whoa!" Sorry, whoa. He just says the same thing quieter. Like, it wasn't about how loud it was, Jake.
Yeah. I mean, I like him because he immediately like, oh my God, I'm so relieved that I'm not going to go home. But then he realizes also it's like, oh, but this other person's going to go home. That's why I'm like, Jake, you're a winner at life.
Yeah. Yeah, it works out.
Well, after you find out he's some like corporate lawyer who's like suing the government so that a Boston company can just dump stuff straight into their Gansett Bay. That'd be funny if he turns out to be like such a nice person in the game, but a piece of shit in real life.
Well, none of us have him for the heel turn, unfortunately.
I doubt it. I really do think he's a decent guy, but I just thought that would be real funny if he turned out to be a massive dump.
I mean, I think anybody living with their grandmother to help support her is probably not a terrible person.
Yeah.
It's like a baseline expectation at that point.
Yeah.
But speaking of the heel turn bet, we're gonna transition to fantasy. You guys got anything else?
Well, I was real quick gonna ask Brian what he thought of the Kendra montage, or as I like to call it, the fast forward 15 seconds. I enjoyed it, but we know this man's feelings on feelings.
I didn't see it. I don't know.
My funny thing was like, this show is. I know it was a genuine moment for Kendra. But I was laughing because I was like, this show is so desperate for the special moments that they're like, we're going to tie it into the beer.
Right.
Yeah. like it, well, Kendra, 100% serious about what she was saying. I'm not laughing at that at all. But the way that the show played it up, like this is this. Yeah, I was like, wait, she didn't meet her dad until she was 18, and she's like, oh, I love him so much. I'm like, okay, that is amazing, but I feel like you should play that a different way.
Yeah. Like her story, great, genuine, all hers. Taking nothing away from that, the way the show played it up, it was very Survivor, very modern like, Survivor.
Yeah, you put a little too much cheese on that pizza there. That's a real pretzel crust right there. Okay, now unless someone has something they want to add. No, I'm fine with going to it, but if anyone has anything to add, please do so.
Brian?
I love it when someone has no fucking idea that there's any chance they were going home gets voted out.
Well, she thought she knew she was in danger, so I don't think she had no idea.
She had no idea, and two people she thought would never have betrayed her. So
there is that.
She was super confident it was Jake.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Survivor, so you never like 100%, but she was probably like 90.
Yeah, you're right. I think that she thought, or she was blah, 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 blah. I think she felt confident once Bruce didn't play his idol, and the shot in the dark came up not safe. I think at that point she thought she was safe. But going into it, she was saying, like, look, everyone thinks I'm safe, but if all Bruce has to do is play his idol and then I'm gone, I am the next logical target because people think that I'm Bruce's number one because motherfucker keeps telling people I'm his number one.
Yeah.
So I will give you that. Like, man, imagine that roller coaster. You go into it thinking, fuck, I'm gonna go home because people aren't gonna risk. They're gonna split the votes, and then it's gonna go to me. That sucks. But then when Jake plays it and it's not safe, and Bruce doesn't, you're like, oh, reprieve. I'm safe. I'm okay. First three votes come up, and you're like, all right, it's gonna be dogpile on him. I'm good. And then it starts to show Kelly.
Yeah, she knew it, and she knew it from the very first Kelly vote. You could see it on her face. She knew it would be her.
She's no dummy. She knows what's up. If she's watched this show before, she knows if it's not unanimous, then it's her. You know what I mean? Or it's going to be Jake, Kelly, Jake. That's that level of unanimity that she'll know. But yeah, so she knows what was coming up, and man, she looked like okay, I disagree, Brian. I don't think she thought she was 100% safe, because I think going in she knew that she was on the block. But yeah, she felt she was safe, and so that she was flabbergasted, and that I felt bad, but also, man, it was great to see someone just be like, "Well, I didn't even get my torch. I gotta go back." Like, not having any clue of what was going on was something else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of something else, let's do something else for the show. Let's go to fantasy.
Good segue.
We had 2 bets that had an impact or had some movement, we'll say, this episode. One was the first to touchy-feely quote, like, oh, I'm here for the journey, that blah, blah, blah. Kelly is now out. I had picked Kelly. Nick had picked Sifu. The only one left in this bet is Kendra. So
she could.
I feel like it's weird that Kendra hasn't yet. I feel like that's exactly the same thing that she would say. This will probably happen later on when people are like, oh, man, it's been such a wonderful journey. That's why I came out here. I'm sure we'll get that sooner than later. The other one was the Shot in the Dark over-under. The season as at 2.5. I have the over, Nick has the over, and Brian has the under. One more Shot in the Dark, and we get to flip, and Nick and I get some points. Yeah. But at this point, I don't know if Nick needs more points. I came in the week in last with 47 points. Oh, yeah, by the way, for the bets and the scoring and the points, you go to Outwit, Outplay, Outcast.com. On the left, click the link that says Fantasy, and all of the scoring system is there, and our bets and our starting rosters were there. So I came in the week in last place. What?
Hold up.
What?
I was saying that I don't think any more Shots in the Dark are going to get played.
Yeah, I don't know. The deadline is coming up pretty soon, too.
Yeah, we'll see. Brian, I think it's you. That's
unfortunate, because you guys are close. That 3 points might matter. It won't matter for me, though. Well, maybe. I don't know. What?
I was kind of saying, I could say that's the one thing about dog piles. If you know it's going to be you, then your vote doesn't matter. Like, that's the one area where I think Kelly made a mistake was, if I had been her, I would have played my Shot in the Dark, because if it was going to be a dog pile, then your vote isn't needed. And if it's going to be a dog pile, or I'm sorry, and you know that if it's not a dog pile, then it's you. So I would have just played it. That's just me.
Yeah, I can see that. But if you think it might be close, if it's between you and one other person, I don't know. Yeah. It's hard to tell. From
Kelly, hit me up. I'll give you some tips, and maybe more than just a tip.
Damn it!
I'm so tired.
That won't work for her. She's a nurse. You could try that on Kendra. Speaking of Kelly, though, I came in the weekend last with 47 points. I had Austin, Emily, and Kelly. Austin and Emily only got me 1 point because all they did was survive. Kelly got me 0 because she was eliminated. So that is only 2 onto my 47, giving me 49. Man. Brian, you did not do a whole lot better. You had Julie, Kendra, and Drew, and all they did was survive. So that's 1 point each. That's 3 onto your 52, giving you 55. Nick, you came into the week in second place, only 1 point ahead of me, but you had Bruce, D, and Jake Cocaine. Bruce got you 4 points because he survived, won the immunity, and said the episode title. D only got you 1 because she survived. Jake got you 4 because he survived Tribal Council and 3 votes. So it's 4, 1, and 4. That's 9 under your 48, giving you 57. You have leapfrogged in the last 3 weeks from way behind to first. So you have 57. That's all
Caleb.
Yes, that was all Caleb. But, Bruce and Cocaine are doing some heavy lifting this episode. This is the point of the season, especially in the quote-unquote new era, where after the merge, points can be really hard to come by sometimes because there's not the reward challenges. So the fact that you had a 9-point day following up a 13-point day, that's a lot of work. So it's 57 for you, 55 for Brian, 49 for me. And there's only one person on the bench, and that was Katura. So I'm replacing Kelly with Katura, who also has the very difficult make Jeff laugh part of the Christian hat trick. She's still got to win a feast and find an idol. Those are maybe doable for her. Anyway, so I end up with Austin, Katura, and Emily. Brian's got Julie, Kendra, and Drew. And Nick, you've got Bruce, D, and Jake O'Kane. And that is it for the rest of the season. No more players on the waiver wire. I think the next person to lose somebody gets replaced with Jeff, right?
Yeah.
Hoping for that one point from the episode title.
I had a question, and because it occurred to me when you're talking about the touchy-feely bet, theoretically, let's say Katurah gets voted out. And then, but she's on the jury. What if she says a touchy-feely thing? So, did I say Katurah or did I say Kendra?
You said Katurah, but you meant Kendra.
Okay. Yeah, Kendra, sorry. So, if Kendra, while on the jury, says some first touchy-feely stuff, she gets, like, Brian would still get that.
I think so, but that wouldn't be, I mean, that'd be at final tribal council, because the jury's not allowed to say anything until final tribal. But, yeah,
right,
sure.
Right, yeah, you see what I mean. So, yeah, so maybe don't hear Kelly off just yet.
All right.
She could. That woman has a heart of a New Yorker, so she's not going to be touchy feely. But could theoretically still happen. $1 million mistake could theoretically still happen.
Yeah, somebody on the jury could be like, "That was your $1 million mistake."
Hey man, that mistake you made, that just cost you $999,999. Because I want to say fuck you to whoever was betting on $1 million mistake.
I think more likely they'd say me trusting you was $1 million mistake if there's somebody on the jury.
Still counts.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Still count. Yeah. Who did I have for $1 million? Who do I have?
You have Jake.
Okay, so I'm still in on all accounts.
All of us are in on the $1 million Deadpool.
Hell yeah. Let's high five over that.
Cool.
I feel like none of those people are going to say that.
How did we do that? How did we all high five simultaneously, even though you're 20, 30 miles south of me and you're like 700 miles southeast? I don't know. We did it.
I think it's the hallucination from the tired.
Oh, great. Everyone heard that. Everyone heard the high five. Unless, well, no, we don't use Zoom, so we're good. Because sometimes it's funny. It's funny hearing people on a podcast that records over Zoom, and they're like, "I'm going to make this sound," and it's like, "Yeah, I can't hear it. It got filtered out," but the audience can hear it. So anyway, all right. Well, hey, speaking of filtering out, we're going to filter out of this episode, and we will see everyone next week for more Survivor Season 45. There is no special name. I'm still calling it Birds of Battle because everyone's still got a bird motif. So there you go. All right, bye.